265 is the best chapter in Jujutsu Kaisen so far, and I'm not going to waste any more time. I'll go through the chapter and what I love about it. Obviously, manga spoilers ahead. Okay, so following Yuji opening his domain last chapter, something I'll come back to is how this mirrors the shot of Gojo before his death, along with the similarity of Gojo being at an airport and Sukuna being in a train station. Anyway, Yuji and Sukuna kind of just stroll through the city, and Sukuna asks him, "What is going on?" Yuji responds by saying he was desperate, so has no idea what this is, which explains why his domain doesn't have a name yet. It was just made on instinct. His instinct to want to talk to Sukuna, which is super interesting because throughout the series, Yuji's naivety has been challenged repeatedly, with him finally completely breaking down in the Shibuya incident when he accepted "I am you" and took on the role of almost mindlessly killing curses the same way Mahito mindlessly kills humans. But here it looks like Yuji has stepped away from that once again, which is something I'll come back to. The two continue to walk, and Yuji starts telling Sukuna about his childhood. He continues to talk and talk, turning this into more of a yap expansion than a domain expansion. He starts talking about the park he used to play at, and how one time he thought he was going to die when he got his leg caught in the swing. Obviously a very trivial situation compared to recent events. He points out a flower, to which Sukuna corrects him on the type of flower it is, showing that he is at least listening to what Yuji's saying, even when it's just about flowers. Sukuna explains that he likely knows about what these flowers are from the memories he got from Megami. When asked if he knows about all the places Yuji's showing him through Yuji's memories, he responds that it'd be a waste to read through such useless memories. Bear that in mind throughout this video. Yuji then challenges Sukuna to catch some crayfish, and the two argue with each other over whether the bigger or the rarer one is better. And the fact that Sukuna was even willing to take part, let alone have this almost slightly friendly conversation with him, is super interesting. It's something we've not seen since him and Gojo joked about who was going to be responsible for damage. Now, I actually think this is possible that it's Yuji's way of getting revenge on Sukuna, which I'll come back to. But there's another possibility here. Remember how I mentioned this panel was similar to this one? And of course, Geto and Gojo, even if far from in complete agreement, were at least slightly able to rekindle their relationship a bit. Possibly something similar is happening here, although we'll have to wait and see if that does end up happening. The other thing possibly hinting at these two gaining a bit more respect for each other is the line in chapter 236, which wasn't finished. The one who will teach you about love is, and then it doesn't say who. But anyway, let's carry on with the chapter and we'll come back to that. Yuji starts talking more about his past, about the shops that closed down, and jokes with Sukuna about how if he's not fond of the huge amount of grey, he can go a bit further out to find some greenery, to which Sukuna responds that he wasn't worrying in the first place. But he's still kind of playing along here. You know, he's actually listening and responding. Obviously not in the most friendly manner, but not in the most unfriendly manner either. He then takes Sukuna to a field, talking about how he used to catch locusts in there and how he wonders if their absence is due to the pesticides evolving. They then go to see horses, and Yuji talks about how their heads are bigger than he realized, and about how his grandpa used to take him to a farm, taking on a parental role for him as a substitute for his actual parents. He also talks about how he once ate so much ice cream here that he threw up. All these random minor things, but I think there's a major significance to them that I'll come back to. He then challenges Sukuna to archery, which of course Sukuna scores a perfect 10. Now, to be fair, I say of course, but whilst obviously he's from an era where archery was popular, it's interesting that he was so skilled at it, because why would someone as powerful as him practice archery? It's a bit redundant, right? It's not like he'd need it to defend himself, so surely it would only be for fun. And again, this is all going somewhere. Yuji hits him with a final yap expansion, talking about how he used to shovel snow, he used to love drinking hot tea, he used to believe in Santa when he heard the bells at night. But this is where things take a bit of a turn, because in the same way that illusion of Santa was broken for him, we're now about to see something similar happen with this conversation. Sukuna is finally fed up of Yuji's talking, telling him to get to the point, but Yuji says he feels like he's shown everything he wants to anyway. To which Sukuna responds that it's all messy and disgusting and wonders what he's actually trying to say here, which is a pretty valid question, right? You're probably wondering the same thing. So the next panel shows his grandpa, Junpei, and Nanami, obviously all characters who've died, and Yuji talks about how he used to think that understanding and fulfilling his role is what it meant to live. And if he died fulfilling his role, he could say he died the right way. But now he feels different about it. The next panel shows Nobara, Chozo, and Gojo. And Itadori says such a beautiful line. Your role could even be walking the dog or providing for a family. Even without that, even if all you do is eat, shit, and sleep, even if you're bedridden with illness, if you're disconnected from everyone else and leave nothing behind, there's value in the fragments of memories drifting around, even if they're smaller than the memories that shape a person. Now, I suspect the precise meaning of this speech is going to vary a lot depending on the specific translation you read. So I've already seen a few different versions with different meanings, but I'm going to try and take kind of an average of the ones I've seen. And I think what Yuji is basically saying is that there doesn't need to be some grand meaning to it all, nor does one need to fulfill some role given to them by society. Perhaps all we need is these small, beautiful moments like the one Yuji's been showing Sukuna. Perhaps that's a far better way to live. Perhaps those small, personal moments we cherish are more important than the memories that shape a person. And you know, if you've seen my videos before, you know the kind of lens I look at anime and manga through. And I think this is something a lot of us struggle with in the modern day. You know, I know I do. There's always that huge pressure online to achieve something huge. And I found myself lately in particular being so focused on that I don't even appreciate all these small, beautiful moments along the way. But more on that in a moment. We then see a panel of Mahito, Sukuna, and a pair of scissors like those on Yuji's technique. He says, it's not about how you die, and that he couldn't forgive someone like Sukuna, who acts like that value doesn't exist, who doesn't even blink at the idea of massacre, let alone murder. He says, Sukuna, I don't like you, but humans aren't tools. It's easy to forget that Sukuna used to be a human himself. And so Yuji declaring that humans aren't tools, i.e. like the scissors he has in his technique, and that it's not like our roles are determined from the beginning, seems to be that he wants to see if he's the one who's wrong, to hear Sukuna's point of view. This initially seems like Yuji going back to his old naive self, but we'll soon see that's not the case, because Sukuna responds that he just doesn't feel anything, right? And he actually seems to talk to Yuji quite honestly here, saying that he understands what Yuji's saying, but just doesn't care. You know, and he's not saying this to be rude, he's just being honest with him. Yuji already knew this was the case. He already knew he couldn't talk to Sukuna about these things, so why did he do it? It starts to dawn on Sukuna that Yuji is pitying him. He's showing him sympathy, he's almost looking down on him. Remember way back in chapter 10, when Sukuna didn't even like Yuji looking up at him. Now, not only does he look down on Sukuna, he's almost telling him that his whole way of living is wrong, showing him that, hey, whilst you were just fulfilling your role as the strongest, I was having all the great memories. You've been living as a cog in the machine of fate, only living as the strongest. And before I used to do the same in my role in this machine, look at this endless list of great memories I had. By comparison, your existence is pitiful. You might stand at the zenith of Jujutsu, but what are you without being the strongest, Sukuna? And shall we find out? He then threatens Sukuna, telling him he has the ability to end his life at any time, and will if he doesn't release Megami. The fact that he's doing any of this to begin with is already a pretty huge breakaway from just fulfilling his role, as the logical thing to do would have been to just kill Sukuna if he could do so. That's what his role here should be. But an end like that wouldn't have been enough to pay Sukuna back. Instead, in a similar way to how Mahito enjoyed taunting Yuji's ideals, Yuji is now taunting Sukuna and his ideals in a similar way, saying, in your long life, you never learned how to actually live. You could say that he's saying, you are me. However, whilst his taunting may be similar to Mahito's, Mahito could never have threatened Sukuna like this. Instead, this is something Yuji earned. Not from some divine gift that set out his fate, but something he practiced and worked towards over a long time. His domain expansion. Sukuna is of course furious, ending the chapter by saying he'll not only kill Yuji, but everyone he holds dear in front of him too. So yeah, he is not happy at all. But yeah, whilst I put a quick disclaimer up on the screen, super excited to see where it goes from here. This is definitely my favourite chapter so far in the story, just purely because it feels like Itadori's growth has been building up slowly throughout the series, and we're finally seeing the kind of culmination of that. And there's also some really interesting things going on with Sukuna, and I'm really looking forward to see what direction he decides to take this in. I hope you enjoyed watching, let me know what you think, and there will definitely be some more Jujutsu Kaisen videos on the way. In the meantime, I've got plenty of videos on some other series like Haikyuu, Blue Lock, Vinland Saga. If you're interested in any of those series, feel free to check them out. Otherwise, see you again soon for more Jujutsu Kaisen videos.